Welcome back to another adventure video where I investigate weird and suspicious activity in Runescape. In this episode, there's some crazy stuff I've never seen before. The first tip I want to investigate today, though, is something I have seen before. I got a tip off about bots alking at the Fountain of Rune. Thanks to Chinstar for sending in this tip. In the tip, he said they move every so often, so it's harder to log in and attack. That piqued my interest. It seems like they're programmed to try to make it harder for PKers to kill them. And we're not just talking about logging out quickly. Every 5 to 10 seconds or so, these bots run around. That's probably to avoid a PKer being able to hop under the bots and instantly click them with knives equipped. The first time I tried to kill one of them, they did move right when I logged in, and I was in the complete wrong spot and the bot logged out. Now, it's so incredibly obvious what's wrong with these bots, I was still able to kill them, by the way. They only log out when an account that can attack them logs in. So if you're on a much higher level account, you can scout where they are and still time it so that your PKer logs in under them. Then you can easily get a hit off before they log out and they're dead. I found a bot every 2 to 4 worlds or so, which means this is a pretty huge farm. Chinstar was also right in that they're alking rune arrows. What's really insane is that the price of a rune arrow right now is only 39 GP, probably the lowest it's ever been in the history of RuneScape. They high alk for 240 GP. So at the Fountain of Rune, when you don't need any runes at all, you're making about 200 GP per rune arrow. But that also means if you catch the bots before they've alked many rune arrows, you're probably only gonna get 60k max. If you catch them at the end of their trip, you might get up to 300k or so. I don't mean to give the botter advice on how to program his bot better. I can't help it because it's so obvious. If they log out when they see any account at all, it would be like 50 times harder to kill them. It's time to take action. Click on the link in the description below, hit download to get mobile's biggest and best RPG, Raid Shadow Legends. While you're downloading it, let me tell you a little bit about one of my favorite bosses. Sylvania, Guardian of the Spirit Keep. She got betrayed by the elves and her family disappeared during a cultural renaissance when they started getting rid of people they didn't like. As a boss battle, Sylvania is all about healing. She heals up to half her health every time she gets a turn, and she also deals bonus damage based on how much HP she has left. Other than bosses, what I like most about the game is the variety of champions, and especially summoning them at the tavern. You never know what you're gonna get. This month, Raid's got a non-stop schedule of special events and activities, including an absolutely jam-packed Halloween lineup towards the end of the month. There will be tournaments against other players, fragment events to get some brand new legendary champions, including a very spooky Halloween champion, and much more. There's never been a better time to get started. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description or scan my QR code and you'll get an epic hero, Kanoru, who is amazing in the Doom Tower, 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get it in game. Your treasure will be waiting for you here. So if you want to have some fun, definitely go kill these bots. I'd say it's a top 3 PvP update in the last 3 years. It's probably only about 1 to 3 million GP per hour since they don't risk more than 250k. Also, if you want to find out about these PKable bot farms early, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I often tweet tip-offs out. Now, a guy reached out to me saying he wanted to expose a certain bot because it's super expensive and he was told he probably wouldn't be banned, but he was. So at least we know Jagex is probably aware of this bot and has found a way to catch people using it. This bot isn't the most advanced in terms of going undetected, but it is the most advanced I've ever seen in terms of capability. Because, well, this bot trains any stat, both free to play and pay to play. And it has about 100 quests programmed in it as well. It's basically a custom account builder. The disgruntled customer sent me footage of him setting it up. And remember, he was banned pretty quickly using it. But you literally set the level you want for each stat, and then within the stat, there's usually between 1 to 10 activities you can program the bot to do. So for example, if you click on hit points, it says Stronghold of Security, Rock Crabs, Ammonite Crabs, Turiel tasks, Vanica tasks, Neve tasks. In Hunter, there's snaring birds, catching lizards, and falconry. You get the point, it's just like a lot of bots programmed into one. He sent me some footage of it on what he said was a throwaway account because it was probably going to get banned. Since it's a burner account with low stats, the footage shows low-level activities. From what I could tell though, it does look like it automates basically every skill and different methods within that skill. So if you selected cooking and then cooking fish, it'll automatically buy the level of fish you need at the Grand Exchange and move on to higher level fish as you advance levels. Again, Jagex has found a way to detect it and you would be banned if you used it, but just an insane amount of time probably went into programming this. Here it looks like you can see the progress the bot has made in one session. So a random assortment of fletching, hunter, thieving, agility, fishing, cooking, and woodcutting levels. I can't believe someone programmed 100 quests. I can barely get myself to do 100 quests, let alone program it, which probably takes like 10 times as long. Theoretically, if you weren't going to get banned, which you would, you could make most PK builds with this bot, including most of the questing behind those PK builds. Again, I'm really glad Jagex is on top of this. Seems like it's a super expensive bot that gets banned right away. My point is mainly that people are investing more and more time into coding more advanced bots as the RuneScape community ages. Jagex also has to invest more time into cleverer ways of detecting these bots, as there are many other scripts that do similar things to the one I'm showing. It's basically called script queuing, where you string dozens of individual bots together. I love tip-offs about bot farm mules. If you catch the mule, it's almost like catching all of the bots at once because that's where the gold is. And I got a tip about a mule in free-to-play with their private on. The guy who tipped me off also said the mule keeps hopping worlds. So I added him and immediately found the world. There was a huge stack of bots. We're talking over 50 bots. But when he logged out, these bots behaved so oddly. They ran south and then seemed to also log out. Since this mule has its private on, I could easily hop to the next world. And it seemed like some of the same bots and some new bots would swarm to him in every world. Now, most of the bots themselves are too new to be on the high scores, but it's pretty easy to figure out what they were, as some of them were wielding mithril pickaxes, and I was actually able to look one up, and that account had 70 mining. Usually bot farms try to hide their muling. This is definitely the most conspicuous way of muling I've ever seen. But since they're free to play mining bots, they're probably suicide bots, so the owner probably doesn't care that much. I don't really know what to make of this tip. On Tuesday, October 19th at 4:24 p.m., I got a tip that said, I was doing clues and found a lot of bots at East Varrock Bank, top floor, some with 99 fletching, some 80 plus fishing, and others 76 rune crafting. I didn't see this until it was dark outside at about 10 p.m. But to my surprise, when I followed up on such an odd tip, the accounts were still there. They weren't moving or dropping anything, or doing anything other than continuously logging in and out on what seemed to be some sort of cycle. It was the weirdest thing, and unless something happened in between the tip and when I got there, I think these bots were just doing this for 5 hours straight. As the tip-off said, some of them seemed to be rune crafting bots, some had 99 fletching, and some had 80 plus fishing in the fishing outfit, so they were probably minnows bots. I was so confused and wanted to see if anything happened, I watched them all night long. I'm just kidding, I'm just playing with the lighting settings. My guess is these bots have some sort of automated muling and the script is broken. This may be the most elusive bot farm I've seen. These bots are not easy to find whatsoever. In the past couple months, I've been getting more and more tip-offs about an imp hunting bot farm, primarily dragon implings. Stories of people about to catch a dragon impling when a bot appears out of nowhere and catches it. So far, they've been mainly cited around the Gnome Stronghold, Range Guild, Crafting Guild, and Alkarid Mine. There's really no evidence that they're bots other than they don't respond whatsoever, and Ironmen who've been hunting implings for weeks straight have seen them on 24/7 hopping around. Thanks to Tut Volk and Lil Ratbags for helping me actually find these bots. There's been a long-standing question I've had, and I think I've finally found the answer. I'm sure most of you watching this video have seen the level 3 bots with eggs in their hand at the Grand Exchange. Hop around a few worlds so you can find hundreds of them, and none of them have any stats leveled. I thought these bots were probably logging usernames and gear for a group of lurers. I reported a lot of them to Jagex, and they said the level 3s do a few activities. They are looter bots, so anything someone drops in the Grand Exchange they pick up. And then while it's waiting to loot things, it uses the Grand Exchange to flip. So it's a merching and looting bot at the Grand Exchange. I tested this on a couple of the bots and some of them didn't pick anything up until I dropped a Raynar seed along with some other things. One of the looting bots picked it up, so it seems like they're a bougie looting bot. They only loot higher valued items. They won't pick up the gold ore, but they want the Raynar seed. As soon as it looted that, it looked like the bot either used the bank or the Grand Exchange. When Jagex told me this, they said they also found the Mule, which only had 40 million GP on it. I do really wonder though how much money these accounts end up generating and how much money one has made just looting and merching. I got a tip that there was a new kind of Black Chinchompa bot in the wilderness. Not the classic level 3 to 20 with only defense and hit points levels, but level 60 to 90s. Like most bots in the wilderness, this, they do generally log out when someone who can attack them logs in, although it's a couple ticks delayed. And I killed a couple of the bots, never getting over 20 black Chinchampas. I didn't waste too much time on it though, because the next thing I did was follow one of the bots to the bank and back on my main account so that it didn't log out, and count how many Chinchampas it caught before it ran back to the bank. The answer, only 20. I counted on other bots too, and again, only 20, which means the maximum you'll ever get from killing one of them is only about 50k. I counted so you don't have to. You could probably still make 500k per hour killing them, but it's kind of a pain. Recently, someone asked me what my least favorite bot farm was in RuneScape, and there's always a bot farm that comes to mind that I absolutely dislike. It's the Falador party room bots on World 301. Never do any sort of giveaway there. There's like 30 plus bots there at almost any given time. It's just an example of a bot that is absolutely directly taking from players and taking advantage of other players' generosity. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one with a special video to celebrate 300,000 subscribers.